make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Has a
ago.
dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to this. Just leave it.
The hell with that.
Oh, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh. What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just can't. What do you mean you can't?
Let go.
What do you mean you won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing. On the other side.
Go.
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what, you finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your, no, get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to the house. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it'd be cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. I can't hold it. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh! What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him. Hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
Breathing.
Other side. Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Oh, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
That one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it. Careful! Oh, God. No. Come on, just reach. Reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is... Oh! What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. His daddy ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. What do you mean you can't?
Just won't let go.
What do you mean you won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
From the other side.
Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work them. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
what do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days
Is a
ago.
dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Oh, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh, God. No. Come on. Just reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is...
Oh!
What am I supposed to say?
It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just can't. What do you mean you can't?
He won't let go.
What do you mean he won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there. No, just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
Breathing.
Other side. Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick. Hey, do you the meat stick?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max.
Playoffs is just around the corner, and you know what that means. It's time for teams to put up or shut up. And unfortunately for a few teams, they will have to shut up as only top 4 makes it here in the Div 1 side of the NECC. I'm excited to get underway. My name is Orbital. With me is, of course, the best minion to ever wander off the rift with way too much knowledge. It is Random Minion Caster, and we'll be your casters for this evening. RMC, how you doing today?
Doing well, bro. For some, it's a game. For me, it was life on the Rift. But tonight, it's all about NECC. And as you said, we're in Week 7, the last week of the regular season. But here in Div 1 Group B, things are a little bit complicated. Some teams have deferred games. So our game for the night is going to be Fanshawe University Esports League, the Fuel versus Fisher College. And here's the rub. Fisher is currently at 3rd seed with 4 wins, 1 loss. But that only puts them 2 wins ahead of 4th and 5th. And only top 4 qualify. Now, they have a deferred game besides the game tonight. So if they lose both their games, Orbital, they are in the muck as to whether or not they'll make it. And one of the teams they have to play, of course, is going to be Fuel. Fuel, on the other hand, is currently sat at 2 wins, 3 losses. And if they can pick up, and they've got a deferred game as well, if they can pick up the win tonight and the deferred game, that might qualify them. It puts them in a pretty good spot to make top 4.
I mean, that's the Foldy sheet if I've ever seen it, because that draws in even more eyes, because that basically puts all of top 6 into a whole different situation, and that's what we're very excited for. So right now, Fanshawe Fuel, a squad that has actively been fighting their way here in Div 1, having promoted up from Div 2. As you said, they've had a little bit of a struggle. They started out 0-3 even, but with this most recent run, and maybe that idea of, hey, we can still make playoffs might be enough in the afterburners to kind of kick on and kind of rise them to the top. I mean, HTK has had some moments, some good ones, especially for the team, but it's now time for the rest of the team to also step up in there. For the Fuel, you go ahead and see HTK 777 in there, hopefully getting lucky here tonight. Ollie as well, Zan, Boo, as well as Marshall to round out the squad.
Yeah, and that roster is very similar to the roster they promoted with in D2 last split. The only change being Ollie stepping in, and Ollie has quite a bit of competitive experience in the open qualifiers as well. On the other side, though, it's going to be Fisher's Div 1 roster with SA Panther 410 in the top lane, Finns Lamort in the jungle, Radar in the mid lane, Visera as their AD carry, and Sword Blue as their support and orbital. The Fisher College roster is interesting too, because Fisher College is a university or college that has really worked on trying to grow their players. They don't necessarily just go for the top players in the pool at any moment. They're not just handing out scholarships willy-nilly. They are actually picking players and actually trying to develop these players. So if you look at this roster, 2 names always stand out to me, and that's Radar and Sword Blue. These guys have been on the Fisher team for a while in various teams, sometimes the first team, second team, third team, wherever they're needed for the team. Whereas SA Panther, Finns Lamort, and Visera, these guys are a bit newer to the team. Now, I know SA Panther and Visera from NA Tier 3, from open qualifiers, so their mechanics are there. But as to how the teamwork works, that's what I'm not sure of. We didn't get to see this Fisher College back in fall. They had to forfeit a bunch of games due to scheduling, and so spring is really when we've gotten to see a little bit more out of this roster.
And being able to kind of step up, because they do have the weight of the Fisher name behind them. I mean, not just talking about the team itself, the programs that Fisher has been able to kind of elevate to a very large spotlight have been well known in the esports scene, in the collegiate scene for time immemorable. It feels like. So that's what we're going to be really hoping for. But you also have to remember other teams in their group right now, Tactics as well as Weber. These are the 2 schools that specifically Fisher are more worried about, even though this could be so a stepping stone for them to basically secure the top 4 spot. They're not just wanting a top 4 spot. They want first place. And just as the Foldy sheet for Fanshawe Fuel is a little bit dicey, so is the same for Fisher, as it's pretty much just like, what is it? A full circle for who can round out against who up there.
Yeah, so we talked about the fact that Fisher is only kind of 2 losses away from the danger zone potentially of maybe falling out the top 4. But in terms of the top 3 position, right now Tactics sits at the top of the table, 6 win, 1 losses. They finished all their games. Weber will be playing this week as well. They're at 5 wins, 1 loss. And then Fisher, we mentioned 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 games yet to play. Now, Tactics lost to Fisher, but Weber beat Fisher. And of course, as you know, they all have 1 loss each. So who did Weber lose to? It had to be Tactics. So if Fisher wins both their matches, they're in a tie situation for the top of the table overall, and that affects seeding as well, who you actually end up facing in that first round going forward in the playoffs.
And that just means that the Foldy sheet gets longer and longer and longer as we watch these matches play out. And that to me also means that they're not just looking for a series victory. When you get down to the nitty gritty, all of a sudden game score matters just as well. And you really cannot give up a single game. Now, of course, with the NECC, things are a little bit different with that matchup. But to ensure a victory, to ensure your best chances at rising in those standings, having a 2-0 victory here for Fisher, I think would be the best thing to call for. So I'm for sure going to be watching them, seeing if they are in a very comfortable spot, if they have that same mindset that we here are giving them. And as you said, with Radar kind of stepping up, I'm curious to see what they play, because there is a, I wouldn't say mismatch, but it'll be interesting, at least in the mid lane, with Radar maybe making the shot calls, and, you know, with Boo on the other side, having a bit of a, I mean, a little bit of an orthodox pick. I mean, mainly the Scion in the mid lane is going to give me a little bit of throw me for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah, for Fuel, their mid laner and Captain Boo, he it's kind of weird if you look at the champions he plays. I mean, he plays a lot of the standard stuff like Victor, Oriana, Corki, Silas, stuff like that. But then he also has a pocket Scion, which he's whipped out a couple of times in NECC in the past. It's a very interesting effect. And it works because we talk about HTK in the top lane. The fact that he is a carry top laner. He likes champions like Fiora, like Camille, like Jax. He wants to carry the game. But you can't all be carries. You got to get a tank from somewhere most of the time. And sometimes Boo having that Scion in pocket does help out. Now, we are running full Fearless. That means even if Boo whips out his patented Scion mid, he can only do it once this series. So I do expect to see, HTK or Ollie, one or two of them will probably have to pick up a bit more of that tank role to fill up, or they'll just have to run a sort of a full damage overload composition, which is kind of risky, especially when you're playing up against a team like Fisher.
And that's the terrifying thing. So right now we're going to hop straight into draft for game number 1. Remember, this is still a best of 3. We've not hit best of 5s just yet. For Fisher, on that blue side, you have to ban away that Mel. Ideas are floating around for the Fanshawe side, and this one has started to rise in priority. Now, granted, Mel itself, a lot of people have started to figure out exactly how to play against it, the range difference, trying to mess around. But the reflection is still just enough to kind of tip it over that scale. Now the Ezreal banned out as well, as we start to see that focus down against Viscera in the bottom lane.
Okay, and that's actually interesting to me that Fuel is targeting the Ezreal, because Zan, their AD carry, is particularly good at 2 champions, or plays a lot in solo queue, and that's Caitlyn and Ezreal. So taking away the Ezreal is sort of a double-edged blade in that, yes, you're denying it away from Fisher on blue side, but there you go. Fisher just has to ban Caitlyn, and suddenly Zan's kind of put onto the second string of champions that he likes to play.
And that worries me a lot, when we talk about a lot of these lane matchups, especially with Sword Blue down there being one of those kind of veterans in there. You start banning away Zan, and all of a sudden, Sword Blue might be opened up to kind of roam around here. Now we're aiming at that top side, and the Renekton taken away. So early game power stolen away from Panther's hands here. And then that is responded with the Fiora, so HTK not getting a fan favorite.
I'm actually curious what else Panther has in his champion pool. He's been playing supports in solo queue for some odd reason, but I remember when I used to see him
we don't talk about that.
Renekton was one of his favorite champions, and it's a champion that a lot of people didn't bother banning against him, so he got to play it a lot. And now if you take that away, I do feel like you might still need something that you can blind and still be comfortable on, which doesn't give HTK a free scaling lane, because Fuel being on the red side can hold off that last pick for the top lane counter pick.
They easily could, and that could be the mix-up. But, of course, with the side of Fisher, you go ahead and say, hey, Corki was open. We don't want the Varus. Let's go ahead and just grab it away. But a blind pick Darius here. HTK throwing down a statement at the beginning, and this is by far the most open-ended question. What you got, Panther?
Yeah, and I'm looking at Panther, what he's played in the NECC, and he's been playing sort of off-meta picks, like Galio, Maokai, a lot of tanks, even a Melfight game. And Darius will cut through all of them like a hot axe through butter. So I love the challenge that HTK is thrown out. It also does save now counterpick for potentially the mid lane for Boo. I think that's really where I'd like to see it. We do see the Ashe pick up, and I would like to see a Braum paired with it. I feel like Braum is a very, very strong champion. It's definitely in Marshall's wheelhouse as well. You get the initiate from the Ashe, you get the follow-up from the Braum.
And it's such a great denial tool, especially considering how quick Fisher is going to be running around. You have the Karma in there, you have the Xin Zhao. These are all amazing to watch for, but that might be a little bit of a cheeky test. It's to see if Fanshawe Fuel have done their homework.
Yeah, and for what they have to realize as well for Fisher is that the Karma is a flex pick. Both Radar and Sword Blue play it to a very high level. I remember seeing Radar often play a huge supportive mid laner to his jungler when they want something aggressive. Xin Zhao Karma is a very old combo which can dominate the early skirmishes as well. So you're not quite sure where to ban out, and the Corki can be flexed between mid and AD carry as well. So you're assuming, well, the only safe thing that you can assume is that it's probably, you can't. I was gonna say that you can assume that top lane, but remember we said Panther does play supports in solo queue.
I don't want to see.
Top lane.
I really don't want to see that. We're gonna go right past that one. As you were correct, you called out the Braum, very, very identified in there and saying, hey, yeah, that would be the best matchup. However, for the Fuel, I am still hoping for a little bit more hard engagement. You take a look at the Braum, you take a look at the Darius and all, and that makes sense, but I want to see a hard engagement. I know some people have been floating around this as Sejuani. In there still, we've seen a little bit of a mix with just the, the Bolo going out there, catching whoever you want. That would just be the icing on the cake, and quite literally the icing if you grab all 3 main known Freljord champions. But as you can go ahead and see, the Jax and the Victor both taken away right now. So, targeting that mid lane, still targeting that top side ever so slightly.
if you want Fairlead, I'd almost prefer something like the Volibear. I just feel like you want a bit more damage that can come through, especially when I see a Xinjiao on the other side. You already have enough tankiness with the Braum, with the Darius being a bruiser as well. You can afford another bruiser. We do see the Galio picked up. That is a bruiser, Orbital. But while I mentioned Panther likes to play it in the top lane, I've got to believe that this has to be for Boo in the mid lane, because you've already got Darius top side, you've already got the Braum support role. So they're saving jungle as last pick or fuel for Ollie. And with the comp they already have, I want to see some damage come out the jungle.
Oh, yes, and the damage might need to come through because Fisher are overloading in the damage aspect with what's drafted now. We now see that Jace come out here, so it's understandable that Jace goes now top, and you get the full array here, but it's Varus locked in as well, so double ADC in there with the Karma support and his ins out forward, and Fuel go cool. You draft 3 ADCs pretty much. Let's run it up with the Malphite. So that is a Darius jungle coming in here for Ollie with a Malphite top and a Galio mid. Wild stuff here for game 1.
I don't know if I prefer a Darius jungle at this point or a Malphite jungle at this point. Or like the Darius in the top lane, that could be fine. It does. The range is a bit of an issue with Jace, but if you run Flash Ghost, you can definitely bully out and execute the Jace multiple times. But yeah, I think the Malphite's just an easier engage option for the team. Now, I fear for Fuel that they might be lacking a bit of damage to carry themselves through the fights. They've got a lot of physical damage, but Galio's magic damage is a bit lower than a lot of the traditional mages, even if you build him AP. I've also been told by production, Orbital, those misbans, we kind of didn't talk about them. They are actually confirmed misbans. Both teams did miss a ban. I think it was Fuel who missed their first one, and Fisher went, as a gentleman's agreement, said, okay, we'll give up the ban too. Why not? We're fine with it.
That's also the most BM thing that you could possibly do at the start. It's kind of like the backhand slap to the... No. Listen, if my opponent feels confident enough that they don't have to ban another thing, I'm like, okay, we're taking a little of this. Listen, I know, but I'm pessimistic, and I want you to go all out. If you miss a ban, it's a whole other thing. But still, I do agree. Very nice gentleman's agreement here, and it makes this first game, I think, this is why we're seeing a little bit of the tango out here, because HTK now has a lot on their plate. We mentioned that they've had really good performances so far in terms of Fuel's performance here in the scene, and now you're basically given that go button. The problem is of course, that's all you have. You have the shot calling button ability to jump in. The rest of the team, though, needs to back up because, as you said, the Ashe and the Galio, not that much power in the back pocket until later. I really am looking at Ollie, though, to follow up behind and say, hey, if Malphite's going in, I'm following up with this Darius.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of the damage is going to be on Ollie, especially in the early game when Ashe has poke, but not a lot of damage built into her kit, and she does need those items. And for Fuel as well, one thing they have struggled here, because they just promoted from Div 2 to Div 1, and one of the things they mentioned they struggled against was they've not played against teams of such high caliber before. The first time they faced a full challenger team, it was a bit of a shock to them. Now, it's been a while since then. They've come through a lot of tough matches. They started 0-3. They've been finding their feet under them and getting back into the game. But the lanes they've picked as well are actually going to be kind of rough. I do think Fisher found counters to the lane, and I'm looking at Fuel to more be able to do stuff in skirmishes and team fights. But that's if they can get out of their lanes in a condition to actually fight. And I look at what Fisher did, and the lane swaps, or pardon me, the champion swaps that kind of came in. The fact that Karma wasn't going mid for Radar, did go down for Sword Blue. That means a poke bot lane. Something that Braum can't really answer effectively. He can kind of soak the damage, but that's about it. The Radar on the Corki in the mid lane against a Galio, so that the magic resistance of Galio is greatly nullified by a physical damage champion. That's good for them as well. Even in the top lane, Jace can hold his own against Malphite early-ish. It becomes sort of a mana battle for Malphite to see if he has enough mana. Once it hits 6, there's a lot of kill threat there, but before that, junglers get involved. Fisher could still theoretically win out topside.
And that's something that they're going to be hoping for on the bottom side here, though. We are seeing the first initial touches as, of course, we are into game number 1. HTK was a little bit slow coming out of the gates, so, of course, the invader, at least a bottleneck, wasn't actually there for Field to try and get a jump on Swordwell and Viscera, but already a ward taken out here, granted over to Viscera's side, so a little less vision to be able to play with. But Lamort on this, Zinzao is going to be having fun. Panther, though, said hello to HTK and is going to try and roll a little extra damage. This might be a little bit of a wet noodle fight, but, of course, with the Grass and the Undying, I think Panther is actually comfortable with this one, burning a potion early, and HTK realizes that maybe they're not exactly super excited about this one, both getting under about 200 HP, both burning potions as well, but the rotation is actually huge, as that's first blood for Panther. I mean, you're a Jace, you win these.
Yeah, and that was why I was saying, like, pre-6, there is actually angles for Jace to play this. One, he's ranged into melee, and secondly, sometimes people forget Jace has 2 forms. So he effectively has 2 skills at level 1 when he can kind of change back and forth. And you saw that come into play right at the end there. The fact that Panther got the extra shock blast in addition to the hammer that he was already wielding as well lets him win out early. Is that going to greatly affect the lane? No. Panther doesn't have time to go back and actually spend that gold. He will have the XP lead, but if Malphite just plays a little bit safer, he's going to be fine. The actual kill threat is not so high unless Malphite chooses to engage.
Well, for right now, Sword Blue tried to play a little bit cheeky and ends up paying a lot of HP for it. Guardian up for Marshall and Zan, though, as they are trading out on their own, and the junglers go back to do their own. Level 2, though, being hit. Viscera rightly forcing Zan and Marshall back, but here comes a rotate as well in the mid lane. Radar getting a chance to invade against Ollie, and so we're seeing plays around the map for Fisher starting off very, very early on.
Yeah, just Radar trying to see what he can get. With the Corki, he got that early shove against the Galio as well, range into melee. So he's not losing too much by making that particular play. Panther, though, with an early teleport, this is sort of to answer what happened to HDK. HDK died, had to TP back into lane. So Panther decides to use his to get the early tier. And what is that? A sub 3-minute tier already stacking right from the get-go. You'd love to see it if you are the tier stacking champion.
Of course, you're at this point essentially starting off the game with an early stack. Anyone that has played, a double up like this where you have the blade as well as a tier, like this is the best start you could possibly have. You sit there, hey, I love this. I can start stacking like 360 by what? Maybe about, probably not 10 minutes, probably a little bit earlier, honestly, if you're poking and you're being annoying, but it's a great start for them. So now we already see HDK kind of shunned under, and we talked about how HDK needs to have a good time if you want to have that ultimate ready to go. I'm curious to see if we are going to see Ollie jumping back up to that top side, even to try and get some early leads if Panther continues to be kind of this aggressive force in the top side.
Yeah, and the other thing to note as well is that Panther did trade the remaining amount of his mana for HDK's health, and HDK doesn't have a TP anymore. The tier is also going to give Panther more mana, which we already discussed as something, that we're going to be trading back and forth between the Malphite, right? If Malphite runs out of mana, he's really going to struggle to be able to answer Jace. If Jace runs out of mana, then his threat goes down significantly. So being able to stack extra mana in lane with the health advantage, even if Lamort doesn't go top, HDK is probably going to have to base it a lot earlier in this one.
Well, the bot lane rolling out kind of like we expected, at least for the start. The Varus Karma having a lot of bullying capabilities and being able to kind of shove Marshall and Zan directly under tower. No potions available for them either. So you can see Ollie, who pat from top to bot, is trying to look after getting the scuttle, maybe trying to help out that lane side and get Viscera and Sword Blue out of this punch, but you can already see the pings going down. Fisher identifying that, yeah, Ollie's around this area, but now looking towards that mid lane through Fog of War. A little bit of a walk, but hasn't shown. So Radar skedaddling out, but Ollie had already called it off.
Rob, I just got an update.
Oh no.
I don't know if this is accurate or not. Apparently the pause was because Fuel thought there was a bug, that the Raptor camp was gone.
Well, you know what's not gone is his bot side gank, because that's going to be a 1v1. 1v2, actually, if it's Sarah looking for a bit more. That is going to be stunned under the tower, though, as that's going to be ADC's trading out. Sword Blue able to block Ollie off, but Sword Blue probably doesn't want to stay here too long. Overall, though, Viscera with a very nice pickup, but Zan being able to soak up this extra CS that they might not have been able to get if it was still a 2v2.
Yeah, and if you look at the CS numbers between Viscera and Zan, Sword Blue?
Sword Blue has heal still, got a huge tether heal, and is now getting up with that heal. Evo extra shielding, didn't have to burn the summoner spell, and you are going to be okay. Volley not up for another second, but that's a flash, and that's an out. Ollie flash under the tower and loses out. Viscera's now here. Gonna be a quick auto attack. Top side HDK, one on the 1v1. We'll talk about that one later, but Sword Blue flashes for the burst and gets it, but Ollie takes the kill back. So that is going to be, I believe, Fisher with the first feat, and Lamort able to get revenge for Panther.
Wow, just a lot of action. I don't know what happened up top, but it felt like Panther, I think, losing in the 1v1 is a big thing to note, because we kind of talked about the fact that he got that early lead, and with the range, and with pre-6 as well, that's not a good sign for Panther, because post-6 HDK can find it. But I want to talk about the bot side trades a little bit, because while it is a 2-for-2 at the end of the day, it's not a favorable one for Fisher. The kill goes over to Zan. Zan gets to pick up the CS a little bit. but Zan was busy fighting and didn't actually capitalize on that. Now the other kill goes down to Sword Blue, but Oli answers. So the kills for Fuel are on the damage carries. Those are the people you want to pick them up. Whereas for Fisher, it was a little bit more split. I think it says a lot that despite the fact that Viscera dies and Zan is the one who survives, Viscera is still crushing the CS counter, double what Zan does.
Oh, easily and very, very comfortable at that. Sword Blue even running off the XP value gains, which is a whole other thing in itself, right? When you talk about the CS differentials, it's like, oh, well, you can still get some CS, you can still get some XP, but we're now seeing Viscera up at level 5, going to be hitting level 6 well and comfortably ahead of Zan, which means that Chain of Corruption is going to be a big bullying point. It is going to be the Grubs, though, handed over to Lamore early on, as they have gone ahead and taken that one. On the bot side, though, Ollie pathing for some of their camps below, maybe going to the Dragon afterwards.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I would really like to see Ollie actually go straight for those Dragons, but if you look at all the lane states right now, it's Fisher pushing out in every single lane. Fisher with a CS lead in every single lane, and that makes it really, really hard for Fuel for stuff. Sword Blue, remember, no flash, no heal.
I mean, I think this is just the pay, and it's a very nice call out. I believe Marshall had pinged that out way earlier, so Ollie, after getting that Gromp, just pathed right in, gifted another piece, and the kill actually goes to Boo, who, as we mentioned, having a few struggles in this mid lane against the Corki.
And you can see Boo already with the components, the Bami Cinder there. That's a tank, though. That's not really the AP build that you're doing for damage. He's just trying to survive the lane and be able to push out, which makes it all the more imperative for Ollie and Zan to be rich enough to actually do damage in this fight. So Ollie on the Dragon, like we called for. You'd love to see it, but since the Lord knew that, hey, we have no pressure down here, we kind of surrendered that. I'll just go invade, take away what I can.
And with that, we're seeing kind of that step up again as Sword Blue, as we mentioned before, being able to rotate out of that bottom side, leaving Viscera in a 1v2. They're not going to try and chance on this top side, as well as HK is taking quite low. Panther, after dying on that top side, is still leading with a crushing CS lead as well. And that's why we see this dance getting a little bit of a pop back, and now it's just an empowered Q. Sword Blue picks it up, and it is straight up an assist cannon Panther, granting Sword Blue some extra gold.
It's just that easy, and you can see that HDK is thinking, okay, if I can survive right now, buy a bit more time, you come into turret, and then I reset unstoppable force, maybe we can make something happen, but easy as you please. Sword Blue with the roam up, able to find that now. Ollie hunting Viscera. No flash, no ghost, no way to gap close.
And Ollie, I mean, you take a little bit of damage back, you lose out on what? Is that going to be 4 total? Yep, 4 little ones gone. So overall, not the worst thing in the world, but Ollie was really hoping to try and push Viscera off of this bot lane again.
He's playing with Hell's money. That's not his jungle.
Yeah.
That's Fisher's jungle. So it's fine. You take your camps. I took the big ones. I got the bulk of the gold. Again, much more concerning to me is just what we're witnessing here with all these Darius. He needs somebody else to initiate for him. And for Fuel, we've mentioned before, if they can survive the laning phase, I think their comp can definitely do it. But right now, they are still stuck in their individual laning phases. Ollie is not really getting the assistance he needs to make action happen. And now that Zan is level 6, Marshall is looking to hit level 6 soon, I would love to see them really set up this Darius to pick up a double kill.
Oh, and you can see it there. Zan might be calling just for a little help just to be able to survive. Just a single rotation dropped about a quarter of the HP. And with the mid lane now, Radar is going to make it even tougher. Take a look at that. Radar shoves a wave underneath tower. Boo had to recall to stay alive, and now is able to go back, drop a couple wards, be a little bit out of fog of war, meaning Ollie doesn't have the, I would say, pure freedom to be able to rotate in and out for free. Go ahead and take a look. They're going to walk over a ward yet again. So information granted that Ollie is still on this bot side of the map, and yet they aren't really able to get anything from it.
And even approaching the bot lane, you can see multiple wards in the bot lane right now. Fisher's doing a wonderful job tracking where Ollie is. Topside does a ward as well. So basically anywhere Ollie shows up, he's going to be on vision, and unless his lanes can set him up from a further distance away, it's going to be very difficult for this Darius to kind of get in there. Top side, we see Panther shoving in. Mid lane, we saw Radar shoving in and roaming. Viscera and Sword Blue as well. I get the feeling right now that Fisher is very happy with these isolated lane states. And at the rate they're going, we're going to see these outer turrets fall in very close order. That means a huge influx of gold into Fisher. And even though that would unlock Fuel to actually start looking for skirmishes and team fights, they would be doing so at a massive price.
I mean, that gold influx has already started. You can see 2.3 pretty much for Fisher just off of those plates. I mean, I think it's 4 plates total taken, but right now it's going to be a knockback Panther, realizing that there's a fight on the top side. However, Lamort is going to be here in about 5 seconds, so HTK without an ult means that this could be the fight. That's going to be a jump forward with the flash. Bot side, we saw Marshall get a kill. What is going on here? We're seeing fights all the way around the map. Once again, Ollie, though, realizing you don't want to be here, flashes out for safety, but that's going to be a dive yet again as Fins Lamort is saying, please give me a chance. That's a double kill for Viscera in the bottom lane, but that's the finisher HTK on the top, as that's what we're watching. Panther actually autoed a minion just to try and get it back, misses out on killing Ollie, and that one hurts as the whole top lane spat leads to a 1-0, but bottom side Viscera now 3-1-0.
Can he get the shock blast? I think he's waiting for the snipe. He actually missed the shock blast in the middle of the fight, and that one came back to bite him. The cooldown on that is fairly long, and unfortunately for Fins Lamort, yeah, they were playing under turret range. Fins Lamort couldn't get any closer, and SA Panther wasn't able to do the damage from afar. But look who's here for the cleanup snipe. He did it once before. Can he do it again?
And this time you open up with the extra tether, and it's a freedom finish right there. Sword Blue tanks 2 shots, and it gives a straight up another plate to Panther, even though they just got the assist.
This is why we highlight Radar and Sword Blue. Now they can't go for this. Instead, they're going to collapse onto Lamort. There's no backup here to be had.
I love this call down. Fanshaw Fuel knew that Fisher were going to aim for that, but go ahead and say you have no power on the top, you have no power in the mid, we got your life.
Yeah, they had a ward in there, to be fair. I like to think that Marshall was already moving up to kind of cover that top lane and pull a Sword Blue. But they got distracted by Lamort in the pit as well. And hey, being able to pick up that second set of point grubs will be good for Fuel. That gets them 2 major objectives on the map. And maybe they can pick up a feat for themselves as well. And then come down to that first point.
Jeez. And this is the quiet difference here. Everywhere else, top and bot have been very explosive. HTK 2-4-0, Panther 2-1-2, Sword Blue roaming out Viscera on the bot side. We keep forgetting Radar, who 0-0-0 has been farming out quite well, and just a Corki in general is able to output damage as long as you get the farm. They're sitting at 124, highest in the game so far. I mean, Radar is going to be doing Corki things so well in the mid game. However, on the bot side here, Marshall getting a little bit of a jump in Viscera, almost getting CC'd out, but it is going to be a fight as Lamort finds Ollie. In comes the grand entrance, and it is going to be a pop-up as everyone is split on Fisher. Where did they decide to go, though, as Boo realizes that maybe you don't want to be here? Nice little knockback as the tether comes in. Boo does have flash, but you get the punch out, and you are safe. So Dragon will go the way of Fisher College.
Radar very low on mana. Same with Viscera, though, so is there an opportunity here for Fanshaw to try and make something happen? TP's almost up for HTK, but they can't stop Lamort at the Dragon Pit. Getting zoned out by Sword Blue and the poke he's raining down. Orbital, you talk about Radar and his high CS. I want to talk about Radar and his impact on Boo. Because Boo, that's the first time I've seen the hero's entrance come out, and it's level 11. He's not been able to get any sort of global pressure down because of the constant shove TP into the bot lane.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at, though. This is what you called for earlier. It might not be for the Dragon, but it will be for a kill or 2. And they turn immediately onto Lamort. Double knockup into the Glacial Fissure. And that is a combination that Fanshaw Fuel drafted for RMC. Fanshaw Fuel from Div 2 to Div 1 saying, hey, now we're ready to tango.
Yeah, and you can see the moment they actually get out of these lanes that they were locked into, the moment that they're out of the unfavorable matchups, the synergy, the teamwork that comes through from Fuel is nice to see, and they were able to lay the CC to perfection. They kind of picked the right head and tried to go for the 2 kills instead of just the 1 on Viscera. Boo, though, he has flash, but it's a long walk to a safe wall.
And no one's really coming about that way, so you are going to run interference. Remember, there is an easy jump in, flash over to the plant, you are safe there. But that puts both teams at a feat per team. Radar was able to take the topside tower and is now going to be punching down the second-tier tower with 3. But in the mid lane, HDK, I'm not sure what exactly happened as you're running for your life. You got a feather, but the arrow pierces your backside and the rock crumbles. That is HDK to a fall for a 5th time this game.
Yeah, that's I think more flint than granite there. A little bit, a little bit frail, unfortunately. HTK, he has picked up his first tank item. It's just Varus does Varus things. That's why it's such a strong meta pick. The on-hit as well. Wow. He's buying time.
Oh, but Boo doesn't really have that much. Remember, you just burned the flash, so Marshall's going to try and body block him right now. Fisher are trying to swing their weight around. They have the early game. They have the DPS with the ADs, and they're going to swing it as hard as they can. Shut down over to Radar, their first of the game, but high time for it. Oh, Ollie, I don't think you want to be here as Panther is dipping in and out, but given a lot of brevity here as Panther and Sword Blue are just like, okay, maybe we don't want to force that one.
so unfortunate too. Ollie didn't have the Noxian Guillotine ready to roll. There were no resets to come through. They're backing onwards. HTK wants another round.
And Sword Blue wanted nothing of it. Panther will be the recipient yet again. As Panther actually might be able to run away here. Another shard comes out, but HTK isn't building AP. And instead is going to flash on it. That's going to be a slam on the ground, slowing the attack speed and their life. Now another shard as Radar has nothing. So an overstay actually from Fisher College is letting so many more in Fanshawe Field. And they're turning it around.
And once more, HTK, this top laner we're talking about, when they went up a division, Fanshawe struggled, but HTK has been the one who's generally done the best in the laning phase. And this game, the laning phase looked rough, but as soon as we got out, look who's picking up the kills. HTK, 6 kills, 5 deaths, 1 assist. Now, the problem is overall, that's a Malphite, and that's not even like an AP Malphite. That's not a carry Malphite. This is straight up tank Malphite, and it's good for HTK himself. It'll feel nice that he's getting this gold to answer back the chase. It's not great for Fanshawe as a team right now.
No, not at all. And you can actually see here, this is why, I mean, HEK trying to push, but you're slow. You don't have that raw damage, so now you're going to get caught out once again. And granted, again, a dying Malphite is not the worst thing in the world, but it feels bad because they're giving it pretty much over to Lamort, who, in comparison to Ollie, who is 2-0-5, by the way, we want to give huge credit to Ollie, who has stayed alive the entire time, has slowly built their own. Lamort is going to be starting to output damage as well. Has the Sun of the Sky, needs one more camp to clear out and have that 1200 smite. And pretty soon, we can see that explosiveness. Right now, though, Fisher looking to try and get boots online if they can gather this Herald, and it looks like that's the last one. So it will be Fisher to grab both beats and get some upgraded boots in there.
Marshall has to be careful as getting.
Oh. I love this turn, though. I wasn't even watching this, and I probably should have, but that's a great arrow. Xan is able to live. Sword Blue jumped in, so the Chain of Corruption only does damage, no kills.
This is a dangerous back.
Do they continue?
They see Xan over the wall.
Oh, they do. They caught him with the core key. That is so good, and right now, Panther is able to follow up behind, and this is decimation. Fisher did this earlier in the top side of the jungle. Now it's the bot side. Ollie running for cover. Marshall with the wall just to ensure that Ollie survives.
Tiny little things overall, just a second more and maybe Xan completes the base, but because Xan got spotted, because the rest of the team wanted to stick around, Panther in the middle of the enemy base does not care right now, might go down here.
Yep, and actually assist in taking down the Braum once again. Panther this time around, though, sharded out and realizing that they don't actually like to be here. The rock is finally a rock and then some, but Panther has to go a very awkward route, and because of that, the shard is able to tag. Now they're going to try and collapse in on this, but who are you actually going to get? HTK realizing Ollie doesn't have the speed to get in is like, okay, maybe I don't ult into 4.
Yeah, and with Sword Blue there as well, it's really risky. The shield and the group speed up could be more than enough to be able to turn the tides and nullify a lot of the damage. Because as we mentioned, HTK is not AP Malphite, he's tank Malphite. He doesn't actually do that much damage, and the shield would nullify the bulk of that. Dragon about to spawn. Ollie is in the area, but Fisher is coming back up faster than Fanshawe is rotating. They will arrive around the same time.
They will, but Viscera is going to arrive with a lot higher utility than the other counterpart. I mean, Xan is sitting on 1.5. We got 2.5 for Viscera, who is 8-1-1, was able to pick up so many kills in there. So this dragon is very, very important. Now take a look where Xan is. Xan is very far away. Herald is pushing up the mid lane, so this has to be done quickly. And Fanshawe Field realize that they're not liking how slow this dragon is currently going down. Radar is just stepping out on the side. That is going to be the smite to come down. Granted over to Fuel, but how many are they going to lose here as Boo can't do anything, and they are going to go down. Marshall now tethered up, can't get back to the point in time. Actually is able to break the tether, so you are able to run away. Radar, though, gonna continue pushing here as mid lane tower Fanshawe Field is low from the charge, but Fisher College losing out on that Infernal Drag. Little bit bitter moment right there. Lamort is like, hey, Xan, you really don't want to be here, by the way. Ollie, though, going to come from the side. This is round number 2. Realizing this might not be good. That's going to be a slam. No major execute, but it's enough to get the kill. Tower does fall, but Fanshawe Field saying, hey, you overstepped a little bit. TP coming in here. But the dive in from Lamort says, hey, you're a little bit late, HGK. HGK says, nah, I'm not. And Fisher say, yes, you are, accept reality. It is going to be multiple kills here for Fisher College. ATK almost sent immediately packing as Boo is able to come in with the grand entrance, save their top laner, but the damage, of course, has already been done because guess what? This has been a 4v5 the whole time. Lamort goes down. It's a 3-for-3, but Radar has been clearing out the bot side.
And it might not be over. SC Panther still sticking around with very, very low health. Thankfully for him, Boo gets distracted, has to go deal with Radar in this bot lane instead. But Orbital, what an insane series of events in the mid lane. Fisher is definitely fueling themselves right now. They were at a massive lead, and they kind of gifted a bunch of kills over. Despite that, they are still up. 6,000 gold here, still feeling very, very strong. And you can tell a lot of their carries, right? Like, Panther, Radar, there's no fear. They're still playing up and very, very aggressive. And at this point in the game, I almost feel like wherever Sword Blue is, that's bait. Like, that Karma is doing so much work to heal people up, to speed them out. And Fuel just don't have good ways to gap close and stay on them. And that's nuts when you have an Ashe in your team and you still can't stick on an enemy team.
We talked about that that veteran status. Sword Blue showing their experience here, keeping everyone topped up. 12 assists to their name, 3 items completed in there, even with the Dark Seal for a little bit of fun, as Zan is now being chased, and that is going to be a jump in from the side from Panther. Quick arrow from the back end leaves HGK completely alone, and this time there is no safety. You are just gone. That is HGK's life for the 7th time this game, and unfortunately, it will leave bot lane wide open for Fisher.
Minions being pushed up by Radar here. They're going to stop by and take the Atakan in the meantime, because why not? Voracious Atakan, or pardon me, Ruinous Atakan, just a bit more damage, a bit faster to be able to close these out. Fanshore just grouping up the bot lane for now and clearing out the minions, and I think they've really got to wait for Zan before they can try and make any sort of play. Well, Zan and HGK as well, because HGK is still carrying most of the gold on the team.
Yep, and we're getting to that point in that game, RMC, where we are seeing Fisher really say, okay, we made it past the mid game as well, or the early game as well. We have the damage that you cannot deal with just yet, and we're going to start swinging it in your face. As you mentioned, a little extra buff with the permanent attack with the Otacon, which again has seen some love here and there, but I love the fact that we are getting much higher impact kill games, so we're not just seeing the pseudo GA every single time. I'm liking this right now. Fisher, though, clearing out the entire jungle, as Ollie is so sad right now.
Yeah, and part of me feels bad for Ollie, but on the other hand, like, you picked a Darius jungle. There's a reason why Darius jungle isn't meta, and a lot of it has to do with gap closing. When Ollie's been able to get into fights, he has been effective, and he has been able to do a lot of damage. I suspect if we could see damage charts, that Ollie would probably be leading on that. And he's tried to mitigate that, right? He picked up the Ditman's Plate, that gives you mobility. He's running a Ghost Blade, that gives you mobility. But look here, how hard he has to run to try and reach a Corki, and Corki just vaults right out.
This is what we say, solo queue doesn't always mirror competitive, but right now Ollie's saying yes, it might, as this is a full collapse double kill coming out, as Booze says, let's pull the team fight. You fight individually, we fight as a team. And Fanshawe Fuel are trying, saying, hey, we want to fight for our playoff berth as well, and they get the taunt, and all of a sudden Fisher are chipped away. The fishermen become the prey. Ollie is going to fall, and yet it's still Fanshawe Fuel doing some work. Panther is just trying to solo out Zan, as the rest of Fanshawe Field try and help out, but Sword Blue is doing so much work, going from support to carry. Panther is able to make it a 2 for 3 thus far. HGK might even dive this right now, but with that knockback, you're going to be safe. Justice Punch in, as Boo is still going, by the way. This has been going on for at least 10 seconds. Sword Blue is kiting. Sword Blue is kiting not just 1, possibly 2 airs. That's a jump right back in, though. Huge wins of war, and Boo is now unstoppable.
Okay, I thought Boo was losing that fight for a second. Sword Blue feels like he was living on quarter health the entire time from start to finish. Handled Ollie, went and wanted more with Boo, but Fanshawe, huge win for them to be able to turn that around. And Orbital, yeah, I was just seeing the fact that, hey, you know, it's so hard for Darius to gap close. Well, Ollie used everything, but he needed to. He got onto Radar and he baited Fisher into the rest of the fight. And like we talked about, he was able to do tons of damage along the team to come through. Arrow unfortunately splitting the uprights once again, but Ollie is speeding down there.
Yeah, that's actually the second time the arrow has missed, so Zan hasn't gotten as much value out of the arrow as you wish, but honestly, the weight of this team comp from Fuel having those ultimates up is actually bringing a lot of pain in. You can see the rest of Fisher is waiting for the Karma to come back, waiting for Sword Blue and this Dragon. It's going to go down in time. That's going to be a jump in. No smite to be able to rend it away, so Fisher are going to pay that price yet again. Lamort is going to go down. Marshall running interference and still able to stay alive. HGK with the knock up into the fall through onto the Fed Viscera, and Viscera goes down. Fanshawe Fuel burning here in game number 1 as they are screaming past at 80 miles an hour. Yet another as it's a 3 for 1. and Fanshawe Fuel are trying to rule this rift. Panther and Sword Blue trying to turn it around, and they will find Boo's life. And Panther realizing that, hey, I can take them all down. And just as I was praising Fuel, Fisher fight back.
Yeah, that Karma Shield is just absolutely disgusting. Sword Blue's keeping everybody topped up. They're pushing in right now. Ollie ran for the hills. Probably the right choice, honestly, compared to how everything else panned out in Fisher. This is the weight of the gold. This is the gold lead they have, although if they were even, Fanshaw's winning these. But with the 5K, now 6K gold lead that Fisher have, they just keep coming out at the end with just that little bit extra. They always have that extra person who survives, who has the health, who's willing to go in and commit. Now, Fanshawe did pick up the dragon. That is Soul Point on Infernal, so that is absolutely massive. Fanshawe can hold it out. I can see a chance of them to get back in here, if they can hold it.
Yeah, I can imagine so as well. And really, I think it's just all about, you know, Fanshawe Fuel needing to stop, I want to say overextending after these fights. I mean, I will say the initial fights of the last 3 have actually gone in their favor. Fanshawe Fuel has come out on top. They've been able to find, you know, those great engagements with HK, who is now 8-8-6, by the way. Amazing job kind of starting those fights off. But then they overextended. We see Panther being like, I can clean this up. So if Fanshawe Fuel basically say, you aren't allowed to clean up, I would love to see what that type of team fight is instead. As we do see some recalls coming in here, so will be the pink ward cleared out of the Baron.
Fisher, I think after the last couple of fights have realized that, hey, we don't want to throw this. Let's not start up. Let Fanshawe feel desperate. Let them start it up. They've actually got good both options on Fisher. They just need to not get engaged on and or make sure that they're split up enough that their carries don't all get jumped on like we saw in that last fight between Viscera and Raider.
No, 100% as Zan is now getting jumped out here, and Zan has no out, and honestly, that's a huge pickup as Viscera yet again, following the lead of the team, says okay, and that's the pickup that Fisher want, as we're going to see the Baron started up here, and it's going to be started up in expeditious fashion. It is burning so quickly. Fanshawe Fuel, you don't really have the time, and so they've actually already given it up. They're trying to push out this mid lane a little bit, and now they collapse on in. Wonder how well this is gonna go. Sword Blue realizes it's already gone. Ollie and Marshall, everyone does a 180. It's like, maybe we should have taken tower instead, but that is actually going to leave them collapse in on, and they're going to be running through enemy territory. Great Glacial Fisher to disengage as Marshall is trying to keep them off, and Cebu is way far out. Probably doesn't want to ult in, but it is going to be a tower for Baron, as that's going to leave Fanshawe Fuel with a chance, or not a chance, but Fisher a chance to just push straight up mid lane.
Yeah, good call. They can't chase. They're leaving Panther to try and interrupt recalls. He's given up for now. He can't see into the fog of war. But with the Baron, with the wave, they're going to be able to get this inhibitor turret, and the inhibitor likely going to go down as well. Fanshawe have to be very careful how they approach it. They have no turret to back them up.
Absolutely not. Not only that, Zan just kind of waiting on the edge, and there it is, Panther roaming on the bot side. That's why an arrow goes out, lands onto Mort. Mort has no freedom to get out, huge shield, but that's a great Kesson guard, knocks everyone back, and that leaves HEK sold out. No unstoppable force means death blooms on the battlefield, and Fisher College rip away any chances of a comeback. Fanshawe Fuel, their initiations were great, but when on the reactive, they have nothing. Fisher College show experience and dominance here in game number 1. Their calls and their skills speak for themselves as they will take game number 1. Ollie underneath tower says, please give you one. Sword Blue says no. And in a 28.5-minute game, Fisher come out on top.
That last orbital, Sword Blue says no. Because I feel like that's kind of the story of this game. Sword Blue says no. We win a fight. Sword Blue holds on at the end. You know, he shields people, he speeds them up. He was a huge part of the success of Fisher outside of their laning phase, but it still comes down to the laning phase from the orbital. Right from the get-go, Fisher is dominating across the board, and it just feels really bad if you're a Fanshawe fan and you see how well the team is playing together. They've got that teamwork, they've got that cohesion. I love the calls that are coming out. When the arrow did land from Zan, the team was ready to try and capitalize on that, or it stopped people from being chased down and resulting in kills for the team. But they're so far behind that it doesn't matter. They can win the team fight and still lose the aftermath, lose the objective. And going into game 2, like, if you're Fanshawe, you kind of got to look back at your team and kind of say, okay, what do we need? What do we want? And I feel like part of it's on Ollie. The Darius does a lot of work, but it doesn't help your lanes early. And I do think you need something that can gank or at least shore up those lanes.
Honestly, I would sit there and agree because we saw how much Ollie was actually fluctuating in. Actually had a lot of early game aggression. We saw him basically posturing between mid and bot side on the Fisher side. I want to talk about that because Viscera came out of this with 16 kills. For the amount of time that Ollie was kind of wandering around trying to help out this bottom lane, Viscera came out like a beast. And we were talking about Radar being this carry, but at the end of the day, maybe Radar was just making the calls because Viscera was the beneficiary of so much. And as he said, Sword Blue as well in that pocket. So I would agree. Taking a look at Fanshawe Fuel, maybe a little bit more help if you're going to run that Darius in the jungle and get a little bit more of expeditious action. So we are going to go to a very short break and get ready for game number 2 and see if Fanshawe Fuel is still able to step up to the dance that Fisher is putting out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick.
Yeah,
Hey, did you get the meat stick?
yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Hey, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You got to give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. This is a spicy workout. Make it worth it. Building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Well, then.
Thank you.
It was worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more. I almost got it.
Careful!
Oh, God. No. Come on. Just reach. Just grab my hand. Grab my hand.
Give me the meat stick. This other hand's closer. The one with the stick is.
Oh!
What am I supposed to say?
I don't. It doesn't matter. He's dead. He ain't listening to you anyway.
I'm hungry.
No. Put it away. Put it. I can't watch it. Oh, crap. Just reach in. You gotta pull it. Just grab it. Just take it out of his hand. You just. What do you mean you can't?
Let go.
What do you mean you won't let go? He's dead.
Help me. Get in there.
Now just hold on.
Make him let go of it. No, I got you. Just go in for a hug. Go and get on in there. It's a bad loss. Yeah, hug him up. Just reach. Hug him up.
He's breathing.
On the other side. Go.
I can't.
Just-
I can't do it. Help!
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick. Yeah. Hey, get the meat stick.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Put
We want to welcome you back here, as it has been an amazing time here in the Div 1 matchup here tonight. But while we do that, you have been seeing some glorious videos of an amazing sponsor here on the day. So we want to give a big shout out and make sure that you fuel your game with Wenzel's Farm Snack Sticks. No mess, no distractions, just bold protein-packed flavor to keep you locked in. Whether you're grinding ranked or leading the squad, Wenzel's keeps you powered up. Grab a stick, stay in the game, and crush the competition. Remember, Wenzel's Farm. Fuel for gamers, flavor for champions. And here on the day, Fisher College are hoping to be the champions of the series.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe Fanshawe needs some of those meat sticks to fuel themselves in this series because their backs are up against Small Orbital. And okay, so I was crunching some numbers during the break, and even if Fuel Fanshawe was to lose this series, it doesn't mean they're out just yet because they are still up against UAESA, and they too are down 2 games and or have 3 more games to play, and they are directly head-to-head against Fanshawe. But at that point, Fanshawe's fate's somewhat out of their control, and they're hoping, praying upon UAESA's downfall at the point that they lose all 3 of their matches that they still have yet to play. So for Fanshawe, obviously, they still want to win this. Can they do it? I believe they can, but it starts in draft, and I think they need to draft something a little bit easier to execute, a little bit more supportive towards their early game.
Of course, and that might lean into Ollie, who Ollie, as we had kind of harped on, but at the same time gave a lot of praise to, was 2-0-5. We did see making that Darius be able to get into fights, albeit a little bit roughshod. Had to kind of be forced into the fight, and we saw him getting kited around by Sword Blue, who was immaculate in this game, quite honestly. I mean, you're running that experience, you're running that understanding of Darius can only do so much, and that left Viscera wide open and early. The only one that we didn't get to see, honestly, was Radar really pop off, and I think that's just because the spotlight was wrested away from his hands.
And fair enough, I do want to shine a bit of a light onto what Radar was doing, because his KDA didn't look very impressive, but he actually did get a lot of damage down throughout the fight. His poke was landing, and what, again, impressed me the most was how he locked Boo down in the mid lane. When you pick something like a Galio, it's meant to support your side lanes, right? You use that hero's entrance. If you can't get out of lane, you're basically playing a champion with 3 spells, and none of those spells are your ultimate. The ultimate's supposed to be the game-defining ability for your champion. And Boo wasn't able to use it because of the pressure that Radar was putting down. Every time he wanted to use it, he had to think twice. Because how much are you losing off the back end of it? Losing a wave here, losing a wave there, losing plates here and there as well. And Boo didn't out till I think it was level 11 that we saw his first ultimate leave out of lane. So Radar was really getting a lot of pressure down that way throughout the early and mid to kind of snowball the team. And that's the scary part about Fisher, right? Anybody can be the carry, and that means that nobody has to be the primary carry. If you're focused on Radar, Panther will pop off, Viscera will pop off. Heck, even Sword Blue can potentially pop off and be a carry.
I mean, Lamort could do so as well. Just Lamort was kind of being run, you know, all between the lanes. We saw them really focus on that top side when we saw Panther dueling it out against HTK. And HTK, I mean, for their own, came out with 8 kills, had a little bit of rough deaths. But honestly, as a Malphite, I expect deaths to the mid to late game. I mean, you're a tank, you're kind of running in there. But I feel if HTK is, you know, playing at this level and able to find these kills, maybe we do want to see them on some of those higher priority carries. Granted, your Fiora was banned away, but maybe there is some shining light in there. Maybe you just kind of send it out there and, you know, kind of pray for a victory there.
Fair enough, and I'm also wondering what else Panther has left in the tank, right? Like we talked about the fact that he plays Galio, Maokai, and NECC so far. Renekton is by far his favorite champion. Well, I expect to see the Renekton continuing being banned. The Galio was taken off the table by Boo playing it because it is full fearless. So he's got Maokai left. We got to see him play Jace. I don't know, you know, what else does he have in the tank? What else can he potentially pull out? And if it's just going to be that Maokai, then HTK can afford to start picking some of those carries that we're talking about. We saw the Fiora ban come through as well, and I'm just trying to think what else did we see. Yeah, it was just the Fiora and the Jax ban that we saw come through. So Camille would be another option that you could go through if you wanted to carry, or heck, even something like an Aurora.
Right now, we are taking a look here, and we are getting into game number 2 with Fuel, of course, opting for that red side. Still want that counter pick, and quite honestly, the counter to the Malphite, it was nice. At the same time, I want to see a little bit more oomph. The Xin Zhao is the one that's missing in those picks over there, so just keep that in mind. No more Xin Zhao for this game, but still these bans roll through, and this is what we've identified in Fearless. Usually if it's banned out in game 1, we'll usually see it in game 2 here, and so far, that is going to be that standard.
Ooh, Fanshawe. Okay, they did ban Viego last game. They just banned it third. So, yeah, I'm not expecting to really see any big changes considering what got removed in game 1. I think the picks are going to be much more interesting. The Fiora being banned away, and it was Caitlyn for Fisher. That was their third ban for Fanshawe. The other 2 they banned was the Renekton and the Ezreal.
And we'll see if it kind of plays out here all the same. Yep, there it is, Renekton. All right, listen, we're just going to sit here. We're going to lean back. We know what the last 2 are, I'm sure. No, I'm joking. I don't actually know per se, but we're assuming that it is going to be that same there. If it doesn't, though, and we are seeing that Caitlyn left open as well as the Ezreal, I would be interested to see if it is picked up. But there's a Caitlyn. Ezreal answer on the other side by Fanshawe. Fuel would make a lot of sense. Unless you want to leave it open and maybe look at that next tier down. Are they going to leave it, though? Are they going to send it away? It's the Kalista ban instead. So Viscera not granted that hop, skippity, jump rope.
Okay, and I think this might be a preparation. Zan does play Kai'Sa as his 3rd most played champion in solo queue. It is a number below the Ezreal and Caitlyn, but if you pick an Ezreal, Kai'Sa has traditionally been one of the counters in lane to be able to hunt her down, or hunt him down, pardon me. But for now, Nocturne being picked up right now, really strong for Paranoia to play literal mind games on the Rift. We usually see him paired with Orianna, but doesn't have to be. It can often go with just pretty much anybody who wants to dive.
Yep, I mean, or even just a heavy amount of CC. I love seeing the likes of a Syndra sometimes if you can't get the Orianna, but the Ezreal stolen away, and then a Kindred as well. So we're seeing Fanshawe Fuel almost take a page out of Fishers and saying, if you're going to run triple AD, we might do the exact same.
Wait, hear me out. Maybe this is a huge mind game from Fisher. You pick Nocturne first, you leave the Ezreal open, and you pick the Kai'Sa. Because we just said...
Oh, it is!
I'm reading out of Drake's playbook right now. Well, because it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, if you know they're going to pick the Ezreal, Nocturne wants dive buddies. Kai'Sa wants dive buddies. Together, they can go diving in together. I love to see it, but the Kindred does mess things up for them a little bit. Lamb's Respite can definitely mess them and like throw things. When you're diving in, Lamb's Respite, suddenly they're invincible, and then you're taking a bunch of damage. Thresh coming out, I think, is a good sort of escape button to pull them out, and it's a Sword Blue special. His most played champion. We've seen him before. He's very, very good, not just at landing hooks, but also just using the ultimate to disrupt engages, and the Dark Passage has been massive for him to pull out. Not just people into safety, but also ganks into his lane.
I haven't seen a Morgana in quite some time either, though. And this is like the old school counter to a Thresh. Like, this is the old school that we used to see back in, we're looking like 2015 or so, before other sports got popular. So this is a wild turn here, and it is going to deny any of those hooks and maybe any of those fears come out here. But now we get to see those extra bans come through. The Camille banned away by Fisher, now targeting that top side a little bit heavier. The Victor still in the mid lane, which makes sense. Radar not being granted that very comfortable, you know, control mage in the mid lane just as well. But remember, this is where we saw the missed bans last time, and they are not missed this time around. It is the Echo taken away from Radar's hands. And for the last one, I'm curious what Fisher are going to opt for. You could go for that top lane still, put HTK even further. As you mentioned, the Jax could be up there, and it is going to be the Jax ban.
Yeah, I mean, if you're banning away the Camille and the Fiora, you kind of have to take away that Jax as well. I feel like HTK has carried many a game on that. I like the Echo ban. That was the one that I think was more important. The Victor ban was kind of like, oh, okay, I don't know if I think Victor is the scariest thing necessarily for them to deal with, but here we go. Swain. This is a counter pick that's used specifically against dive composition. It does a ton of work. You pick up the Rileys, and suddenly teams will struggle to get through the molasses that is the Swain ultimate there. So I love to see that. And Fisher answering immediately, okay, if you want us to bunch up, we want you to break you guys apart, break the fight apart. And most importantly, this, the ultimate, the explosive cask, is perfectly placed. If you land in the center of Lamb's Respite, it pushes everybody out. So
yeah,
really good
it's so annoying.
Open.
Oh, I like it. And with the silence at the end, this makes sense. You take a look at the ults on the other side. You got the Demonic Ascension. You have the Lamb's Respite. You have the chains as well for the Morgana. If you just want to piss everyone off, you can't knock them out. Might as well CC them before the end. But there is the Scion. And if it's going mid, that will put a Swain top, or you just put Boo in the top. I don't know. But I love that the Scion's coming out here.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering too. Who's piloting the Scion here? Is it going to be Boo? Because traditionally he's the Scion player on this team. He plays in mid. But into the Silas, I don't know if I really like that particular matchup. I almost feel like Scion would be better off against the Gragas, whereas Swain might struggle a little bit into the Gragas early. Swain's sustain is really good post 6, but early on he's kind of squishy. And if you just build a little bit of AP on the Gragas, you can absolutely pop the Swain.
Yeah, we're getting, I mean, it is going to be Boo piloting, so it is on the more comfort level Scion player, but of course we could see some lanes once come out. It's a double AP melee setup for the side of Fisher, so it makes sense that everything could be juggled around. Quite honestly, we could be seeing just a lane swap game of tag, even, which we have seen in the past, which for me, I hate it because everyone loses out on CS and experience at that point. But it is a very doable option. But the bot side, Viscera, I have to point this out, with this Kai'Sa has an opportunity to still do silly things because there's not a lot of back-end safety outside of the Lamb's Respite. You take a look at what Viscera has to deal with, mainly a Dark Binding. Outside of that, you can run pretty well in free if you're allowed access back there.
If anything, I think the biggest struggle for Viscera in these team fights is going to be Swain, especially once he picks up the Riley's Crystal Scepter there. You just kind of use the ultimate and trying to move through it. Like I said, the slow is going to be really messing him up in terms of his mobility. Gotta say, I like the draft from Fanshawe a lot more than what we saw last game. I think Fisher managed to take advantage of what Fanshawe wanted to do. Fanshawe was tunneling a little bit on team fights, which we saw the effectiveness of it, but the laning was really rough. This time, I think Fanshawe has a lot of individual answers into the lanes. Ezreal Morgana, great lane. They should be able to survive that perfectly fine. Ollie on the Kindred, great. You can make early moves, heck, even earlier than the Nocturne a lot of times, with the Scion as well. And with the Swain, their laning phases should be okay. They are a little bit more even, so that's where I kind of expect to see Fisher focus their attentions on the early game, is the solo lanes.
Already pings going out here as that deep ward draws a battle line, and this is going to be a chance and a half here. Finn's Lamort, though, walking directly over a ward after having their jungle egg, but this could be messy here. This could be a little bit different. Ollie had to get in a little bit late as they forgot their items originally, but this is going to be dangerous. Oh, no. And you're walking straight into a Morgana. I don't know if you like this. Into a Scion as well. Why would you do this? Why, oh, why would you do this to yourselves?
That's so brutal. That ward that Fanshawe managed to sneak down early was huge. And they counted too. Panther
it was pinged out, though. It was pinged out, Panther. You're not going to like this one. Another binding as it's all over the early game. There are a few champions you never invade into, and one of those is a freaking Scion, man.
Overall, they thought nobody was there. They thought they could sneak it away. They thought they could pull some cheese. They thought
it doesn't matter. Let me get off my soapbox. Don't invade against a Scion no matter what.
Oh, man. I hope she got some soap in that soapbox so we can wash out our eyes. That was a brutal start for Fisher. Really, really unfortunate. And I love what Fanshawe did as well. Notice how they gifted that last kill over to HTK. They recognize that, first of all, HTK is a player who can try and take over the game. Second of all, that Swain is sort of the linchpin of this composition. If he gets ahead, Fisher, specifically Radar, Viscera, Lamort, they're going to struggle immensely to try and play any fights into a fed Swain. Normally, we see Swains go kind of tanky, more utility. But if you're far ahead enough and you can go AP, those fights get a lot shorter. These squishies, or this Nocturne, this Silas, they're supposed to be bruisers. They look a lot more squishy.
Oh, they look like paper mache at that point. Radar, though, in the mid lane, dancing around Boo as best as possible, both popping the potions. But remember, Boo is most likely very, very comfortable in this lane matchup. But that's going to be the play coming out here as a binding did land from Marshall. But Viscera answering back. Hook goes to the right as Marshall ducks out of that one.
That was close. If that one lands, maybe we see kill for Fisher finally on the board. I just realized too, Orbital, the feat of warfare just got cleared. Like the fact that all 3 kills happened that early on, Fanshawe already have a lead in that sort of feet race. Foot race?
Well, for right now, the feet race is on Ollie as they're in a foot race to try and get this crop as soon as possible. Very early invade from Finns, Lamort, and Viscera and Sword Blue, all of them trying to steal away this blue buff. It is going to go down quite low. I think you are able to get a great hook. Binding lands, though, but it's not on the primary target. It's only on the Thresh, and Marshall probably doesn't want to follow up on this one at all.
And I much more prefer this sort of invade. The problem is Fisher probably thought they were stronger in the early game, and they're not necessarily the flash over from Viscera.
I mean, a flash from an ADC for a flash from supports. At the end of the day, you're like, okay, that's not terrible. Marshall still being jumped out is there, but Radar is able to get the one, but still, I mean, Boo is going to be like, cool, you got a kill, great, let me go ahead. Or no, Boo didn't get the kill at all. Oh, great play from Radar.
Didn't even get the kill credit. Couldn't land an actual auto onto Radar. That's painful to watch. Unfortunately, the resurrection time in the zombie form was actually what shafted him. If it was just a little bit quicker, he might have been able to do it. Ollie now trying to return the favor onto Finns Lamort, going for an invade of his own. He is spotted, by the way, but it doesn't matter because there's nothing here for them to take.
We just don't want to see kills right now in the bot lane. We already gave Viscera so much like spotlight last time. We're just like, all right, Sword Blue, you're in that same lane. We don't care. Kill though goes Sword Blue's way.
That's not fair. We gave Viscera a lot of credit for kills. Sword Blue got that kill and we just left him high and dry. That's Sword Blue.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? We'll give credit. All right, Viscera and Sword Blue. Great job on that kill. Really well done. I don't know how you did it though.
Well, they are once again doing a fantastic job though. Viscera up
Yes.
10 CS. That's no joke. Cole being picked up as well to kind of snowball the situation in this bot lane. He knows he's strong. He knows he's winning. He's not worried. And I wonder how much of that is coming from Sword Blue and how much of that is Viscera's positioning. Because last game, Viscera was doing a ton of work, just landing a lot of poke. With the Kaisa, it's a little bit riskier to be able to land the poke. And normally I just assume it's the Death Sentence landing from Sword Blue. But with the Morgana, I almost feel like that should nullify the Thresh, no?
It should, but it's very one-dimensional at the end of the day. It's actually what a lot of people had complaints with the Morgana Thresh matchup is you're very one-dimensional. You have a very in and a very out, and that's all you can really do. Right now, Black Shield goes down, though, as Radar and Panther are coming around the side. They're going to look to body in, and it looks like they got it as Boo has no flash and no abilities to get out, so that will be a finish off granted to Radar here. Boo's just going to go ahead and clear out that wave and be like, all right, time to go back to square one once again.
I love how Panther's got the Biker Gragas skin as well. He just rolls up to mid lane, literally just puts a bit of damage and just rolls right back out of mid lane towards the top side. Yeah, that cool as cucumbers there in the mid lane. And this is really good for Finns Lamort as well. I like the movements we're seeing from Fisher, sort of the roam outs, because it's allowing Finns Lamort to just power farm. He's actually up about half a level on Ollie right now. The invade helping out a lot. And Finns Lamort just wants to hit 6, wants to get the paranoia unlocked, so that he can unleash that paranoia onto Fanshawe.
Oh, what a binding, though. Even getting flayed out, and Viscera is going to go down. Marshall with the play, and maybe we're seeing why these kills are happening here on the bot side as Sword Blue runs for the hills.
Yeah, I wish we had more cams on this bot lane, because Viscera flashing over the binding the first time, and this time Marshall just completely outplaying all of them. Yeah, this bot side is really, really spicy, and if I'm Fanshawe, honestly, I'd kind of be looking at this bot lane right now. Like, HDK is doing fine up top. They got him the early kills. Let's go down to this bot lane, where we're seeing so much action, where we're seeing Viscera and Sword Blue constantly pushing up. If we can deny vision, we can potentially pick up some kills, get all these snowballs as well.
That's kind of the thought process. And for HTK's value, by the way, they are up in CS, something that they were not in game number 1. They weren't really given an opportunity, and you can call that for what it is. They got the early 2 kills. They got the early XP as well, and Panther is doing a great job butting back. But again, for HEK, you're like, this is the best start I've ever really had. Now, of course, Panther is just running an annoyance factor. We are going to see this dance as, oh, this is cheeky. Great step away, but you still get hooked into the Glacial Augment. And this is some revenge, and it has Sword Blue even getting a couple extra blinds out here as you dance into this jungle. And that allows the Sarah to pull you out even further. Zan tries to pop that barrier, but one more W might be able to do it. You dive underneath the tower, and you get it. Ollie here for a little bit of revenge, though, as the Sarah is only level 5. That should be the finish. Last auto attack is done. Ollie playing with the food a little bit, but it will be a done deal. Still, Viscera though with 2.
Yeah, and Ollie, I think, actually had the mark on to Viscera as well.
Yep.
Oh, boo. That's tough to see. And Paranoia unlocked, like we were talking about, while Ollie's trying to fend off dives in the bot lane. Yeah, Finzamort is just farming up, and the kills in the bot lane as well. The fact that Viscera and Sword Blue, they did secure both the kills. It's a 2 for 2. It's an even trade.
Yep.
It's good that Ollie's picking it up for Fanshawe, but I think Fisher is happy with how that one went. Not to mention again that they're setting Ollie slightly further behind in terms of his timing, in terms of his ability to clear out the jungle. Not only has Boo gone down, but his top side's getting taken away by Finzamort.
It's being cleared out very, very quickly, as well as Boo now realizes that too. So there are some differences. However, Ollie has been able to get lucky with that mark spawn. So right now, sitting on 3, this will be their 4th, which is very comfortable. As you pointed out, Ollie was waiting for the mark to complete. So now you're at 4. You are officially a champion, as we like to call it. That's going to be a binding miss, though, as this is an easy damage source as Sword Blue almost going to go down here. Zan doesn't have the 2-shot barrage, so Sword Blue gets to live.
Yeah, and they do have to back off. Ollie is in the area with the Lamb's Respite. The dives could look to come through. No shield from Finzamort. He's happy to eat the hook, I guess, for now. Gets him a bit closer, but I don't think there's any real dive threat at this point.
I mean, HEK is, again, doing a very comfortable job. They haven't really lost as much HP. Panther hasn't been able to chunk them out like they did in game number 1. When it was that Jace versus the Malphite, that was a whole difference here. So right now we're seeing a little bit of a dance here in the jungle, but Ollie realizing they're not in the right spot, does have flash to go over the wall, but there's so many dash champions. Land's Respite is being used, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. Marshall is here to help out, but again, there's not much else to be played. What a hook, though! Landing yet again, and at this one, it's a gamble. Will it be the Thresh, or will it be the Morgana? This time, it is the Thresh, as Sarah grabs 2 more. Mid lane, though, Boo is going to be running in and out, was trying to push out the wave, but Panther was there to be an annoyance, and now you have no ult or flash either. So this is Boo going to go down yet again, and it's like the early 3 kills do not matter. Fanshawe Fuel getting annihilated here as Fisher have gotten 9 total in 9.5 minutes.
And this is why Fisher is a top 3 team.
Yep, easily. Easily. I mean, this dive here, we just mentioned HEK is strong. Doesn't matter. Finzamort takes him.
Yeah, it's just a sequence of how the events keeps going. Fisher just punishes in the bot side, rotates to the mid lane, rolls into the top side. And like you said, Fanshawe had the best start you could hope for. 3 kills going your way, 2 of which end up in the solo lane, which is sort of the linchpin of your composition. But from there, what happens? Fisher's still the one being more aggressive. They make all these plays from the lanes. Once again, it's their lanes getting their jungle ahead, getting them in a better position. Binding lands onto Sword Blue. I don't think they can pull up on this one.
They don't really need to at this point. Sword Blue was behind minions and means that their hook couldn't land at all. But it's still enough damage. It is going to be the 2-shot barrage going out here, and you can't really do too much. But it gives Vision and information that, hey, Viscera and Sword Blue are going to go ahead and recall, so it will be at least an extra push, maybe another plate, as we do give credit Zan and Marshall for all the fighting that's been going on. They have been able to take 2 plates for their own, so maybe getting a little extra, which is why the gold for the amount of kills and amount of action is still relatively close.
Yeah, but it has been creeping Fisher's way. Fisher now on these grubs, uncontested, not being answered by the dragon, which hasn't spawned either. So Fisher kind of finding these incremental advantages right now. And HTK has to be a little bit careful. You know that Finzamort is in the area. You know there's no paranoia, but you don't quite have vision on whether he's setting up and whether or not Panthers rushing to the top right.
Right now, we're watching this kind of sit-down play as Panther yet again joins in on this mid lane, but we hear the call, but really our eyes are down on the bot side. Sword Blue yet again brings the damage, but I don't know if you really want to dive in. Viscera dives in anyways and says your death will not be in vain, and sometimes Zan says yes, it will. Zan and Marshall go ahead and just straight up 2v2.
Do they want to go in orbital? Yes, they do. Should they have? Maybe
No.
A little bit unfortunate for Sorblue, taking a lot of damage. He's not that tanky yet. That's one of the problems with Thresh compared to a lot of the other engaged champions. Boo and Panther just wet noodle fight in the mid lane, man.
I mean, we say wet noodle, but Boo is actually probably really okay with this one as you're getting a lot of stacks as well. And I think Panther is realizing that maybe you don't win this one. That is going to be a knockdown, but there is the finish. And Panther's like, I might not have the meat. Finns has the blades, though.
Yeah, and that's the problem right there. Yes, Boo is winning the 1v1, but you've always got to keep in mind there's an Nocturne on the other side of the map. He's going to be the issue. Offside, HTK, does he have the damage? Does he have the health?
I mean, they're going to try. Both of them had the Demonic Ascension alive, but the chains do not land, so HTK does get to live. Very, very nicely done here. Ollie, though, revisiting this bot side, as you mentioned before, this is going to be that dance of Zan and Ollie. Just trying to find something. Finns Lamort, though, joining in here on the top side. This could easily be the dive that we're talking about. That's going to be a cute landing, and HTK realizes that, crap, okay, you've been wanting to dive me the entire time. Let's see if you can do it. However, take a look. They have a little bit of time. Nope, there's the finish. I was waiting for it, and it is going to be done. Radar gifted that kill.
He's trying to run into the top lane, just trying to hold this, and he should be fine as a tank. And meanwhile, Zan and Marshall in this bot lane, we get to see Ollie get the dragon, by the way, second Drake of the game for themselves. Go and assist the bot side. They didn't get the kills on Viscera or but they did manage to push them out. Vincent just stealing away a Raptor again, but that's fine. I think Ollie's okay with this, and the fact that their team managed to get the first brick in the bot side, that feeds towards the side of Banshall Fuel, and more importantly, it's unlocking Zan and Marshall a little bit to try and make action happen elsewhere. They've got these leads. Let's see them put them to good use.
All right, now we're also watching as HTK is trying to swing their strength around. Since the 2-0-1 at the beginning, they have not gotten a single kill or assist. They're sitting at 2-2-1 now, but they do have the Rylai's. And as you mentioned, once that Rylai's is online, then it feels like HTK is going to be that giant pain in the butt. But for right now, it is that lane allocation system. As you see with Viscera and Swordblue also matching the likes of Zan and Marshall in that mid lane. Top side, though, Boo and Panther still going at it like cats and dogs, and just wondering exactly who's going to really take that victory. And I think Boo's going to be a little bit annoyed at these belly bumps every time.
Yeah, I think just the innate sustain that Sion unfortunately has kind of trumps Gragas a little bit. So it's a little bit hard for Panther to do this. And Panther didn't go for the sort of full tank sustain build either. He went with Rod of Ages, which early on, I mean, he's sitting on a tier in Rod of Ages, one stack Rod of Ages. He's in a power drop right now, so it's not really fair to compare them one-to-one. But who doesn't care? There's nothing fair in Love and War, and this is war.
This is extremely war. I mean, you got the commander of war here as HEK is in a 1v1 here. Radar doesn't have an ult to pull, though, as that's going to be the paranoia going down here. And that's going to force out Ollie, and that leaves HEK possibly high and dry. Hook comes out, lands. Lamb's respite is not going to save you as you were hooked out just like you called RMC. You gotta love a Thresh sometimes against a poor Kindred.
Now Ollie's in trouble. He doesn't have Lamb's respite available.
Oh, no. You stayed a little bit too long, even with that cone. It doesn't really matter, but Finn realizes that, hey, Ollie actually does a little bit of damage, so you can't finish off the kill, and yet the damage has been done. Bot lane a little open, should drop around from the backside, doesn't get the kill, as that's a great spell shield, and Viscera cleans up Ollie, so the fight continued, and yet again it leans into Fisher's pocket.
And Fisher's kind of just pulling out little victories by being so dogged and persistent about it. They're not letting anything go. Who will be able to take down the turret, but can he get out on the back end as well? Zan here to back them up.
Nope, the Flay's going to do more than enough. No backup here as Boo flashes away. You're going to try and die, but again, the Killer Instinct does so much work, and Boo goes down for the 6th time this game. Zan and Marshall, though, going to clear out the wave with the rest of the team as Sarah and Swordblue go, cool, you can do that. We'll just take all the towers. HGK once again dropping down to this bot side and realizes that they can't do anything. Quick Fear Finslamort is unstoppable.
And this time HGK caught without the Demonic Ascension. No way to extend the play. Panther left alone in the top side, finding a turret for himself as well. Fisher pouncing back and finding their own advantages, really speeding up the game. That's one mid turret traded for 2 side lane turrets. And Ollie, well, Ollie's trying to get into the game right now. I'm just watching cooldowns. You'll, Banshee as a whole, need to play around those cooldowns. And I'm looking specifically at HGK and Ollie.
The thing is Ollie is also behind the curve. We mentioned the Darius last time. Well, the Kindred specifically needing a few more marks. They have sat on 4 marks since about 7 minutes in the game. They have not gotten a mark since then, which shows how difficult it's been for Ollie to really work around this map. Even though we've seen them try and get in on the kills, they're still sitting at a 1-2-2, has the Triforce available. They still need to upgrade those boots. So for right now, Fanshawe Fuel is kind of dancing around, clearing out the jungle side, and Fisher are like, let's do the same, but we're going to look at a dragon in 30 seconds.
Okay, so overall right now, how do these teams keep playing? I think for Fisher, they are doing fantastically in these very split fights. They are more than happy to continue with 1-2-1 split pushes and have Finns the Mort just show up to get numbers advantages. Fanshawe still have a team fight composition when all is said and done, and they need to start dipping up and looking for these team fights. These sort of skirmishes are not really ending up in their favor, and so I want to see them play around objectives.
I think right now that objective might be called, as that's going to be a huge unstoppable force roaming straight into the mid lane. The train is here. Double knock up in, and maybe the team fight breaks out here. Another group on top, and that is going to be a shutdown going the way of Zan, but now the rebuttal comes in, but the damage is here as that's the demonic ascension forcing the rest of Fisher out, and this is Fisher gone. Double kill over to Zan. True Shot Barrage narrowly misses out on Finn's Lamort, but the dragon will go Fanshawe Fuel's way in a much needed injection of gold. Time is counting though as the fight continues onwards, and maybe this is an overstep, but there's a lens respite to keep them all alive, and it is once again Fanshawe Fuel to be very happy about this turn here in the mid game.
Where is Sword Blue going? He's going further up this lane with 4 members behind him. Okay. Good. They're backing up. I was like, I don't know if I want to see them keep pushing up right now. Yeah, there's a lot of low health members. They're still on the hunt.
Yeah, it was a ward. It was an easy ward, and that means everyone can collapse in, so the secondary round is going to alleviate that pain of losing the dragon. Fanshawe Fuel may be on soul point, but Fisher College have the kills, and they know 2 more are around. Radar is going to get knocked up, but dives right in. Ollie realizes they're not in a good spot, and they get another Lamb's Respite in their Ollie, biding their time. Boo ready with another knockup. Flashing outside, though, is Radar, but Radar still goes down, so Sword Blue and Radar bit off a bit more than they can chew. A missile, though, lands as Viscera wins it out yet again. Viscera is now going to dive on in with the Kill Instinct, and the complete cleanup at the end of the dragon fight may or may not go their way. True Shot Barrage comes in, but misses, and there's the barrier and then some. That will be the finish, as on the top side we get yet another, and it is Fisher to win yet again in the micro team fights. They are at 21 kills.
I can't, bro. I can't. How Fisher can't be allowed to keep getting away with this? How are they doing this? Fanshaw's winning the fights. Fanshawe won the fight, but somehow Fisher just comes back out and keeps finding leftovers to pick off and pick up and get ahead. And now because of that, because of these slow death timers, because Fanshawe end up going down later, sure, they get the dragon, they're on soul point, but they're going to lose the Herald, and it's still Fisher with that gold lead in pocket as well, and it's still Viscera. 9-3-2, getting incredibly fed, being the huge menace in these team fights, popping squishies like Ollie and HTK before they can have the full value, the full impact of the damage that they should normally bring to the table.
RMC, when do leftovers become a meal at that point? Is it when you get 2 pieces of scrap? Is it when 3 to come together? Is it just like a potato and some noodles? I don't know, because at this point, Fisher are building a 5-course meal out of the leftovers, and they're going to do it yet again as a fight is on their table instead. They sit down and they say thank you. That is a quick snap on Marshall's life.
Oof, that chunk on Viscera will make him have to think twice about going for this objective. Atakan is on the table right now, and I think that's what the teams are looking for. Fanshawe doesn't think they can do it, but Fisher is actually starting it up.
I think that's going to be a little bit terrifying, but you look at the extra shielding and the extra damage that they have, they just shred right through it. Now, of course, Fanshawe Fuel are trying to get a little extra information. They're going to try and power down this mid lane as best as they can, but they're not doing that great of a job. Panther goes ahead, clears out that mid lane, the mid lane wave, and of course Radar's on the bot side, who is 5-4-5 by the way, has done a great job at maintaining their own stance as you mentioned earlier, and yet even then Boo is still going to be running that interference. However, Radar says, please let me get that chance. Level 13 versus level 13, another back in as that protobelt keeps you safe, and all of a sudden Boo realizes they're not in a good spot. Are we going to get the choo-choo trains together? I don't know. Radar Ready to chase if so. I love this. Both of them are waiting. They're playing mind games right now. Boo's like, do I want to ult? Do I want to ult? Well, it doesn't matter because we're swapping over to that mid lane. There's going to be the cast. Knocks them right back in. Zan realizes that's not where they want to be. And again, the black shield was used on Marshall themselves. That will be the tether and finish as Panther picks up their second. Radar, though, getting double teamed here as Ollie realizes that, hey, Boo might need some help. But take a look. Panther is rotating down. Ollie realizes this might be a little bit of a trap. And Sword Blue is here to run them off. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we're seeing that Herald go down, but Boo, are you going to get away? You already used. You're unstoppable here, and now you're going to try and step back up, but it's a bait. It's all the time as Fisher continue to power down not one tower, but two, possibly a third here.
Yeah, they're just trying to stop Boo and Ollie from going home. HDK can't move in time either. HDK is pushing up top, trying to answer, but the Herald pushes so much quicker. Sword Blue is dead to rights here.
Oh my god.
They get out? No way! Not again!
The longest minute and a half bait that you've ever seen in your life has yielded not one, not two, not three, but 4 objectives of Fanshawe Fuel as they take 3 towers, an inhibitor, and a kill to boot. Make it 2. Viscera is looking like a menace, running for their life, and now it's a chase on the mid side of the map. RMC Fisher are showing immaculate decision making here in this game as they are on their way to bringing their gold lead ever higher. 5.4k now.
Okay, you know what? Viscera's not a marksman. He's an absolute bloody magician. And that's some insane sleight of hand we're seeing. He's making people vanish. He's baiting a lot of people into a lot of things, which isn't panning out. Ollie is going to be in a bit of trouble as well. Actually lands.
Oh, give it to Sword Blue. Sword Blue deserves that one. Radar's going to help out, but immediately dashed into a blast cone. So had to chain right back in. And this is just desserts for Fisher as they have gone from fight to fight, coast to coast, and then some. However, they might have been off a little bit more than they could shoot. I lied. Radar's in the back line. It's like, yo, how are you guys watching me? And the rest of Fisher's like, yes, but Panther gets a great cast kill. Radar dies back in. Viscera's here to join in. The fight's never ending. The buffet never stops. Viscera gonna dive right in, but HK has been able to heal up a little bit more, but here comes the shred. Viscera's like, yo, you got nothing on me. Another missile from downtown means Viscera is now legendary. 14 for the Kaisa. Zan can't do anything.
Welcome to League of Legends, or as we should, I'll name it after this, the League of Viscera. Absolutely legendary. 14-3-3. And overall, for Fanshawe, that was the best fight they could hope for. That was how the comp was supposed to work. You get Zan, who's able to create space. You get HTK in the middle of the enemy team in a choke point where they can't avoid him, they can't get away from him. The slows just make him able to walk after you while you're slowly crawling out of there, and Zan gets the free fire. And it all looked good until Viscera showed up, and shows up again on Ollie.
Whether a team fight or a solo kill, it does not matter. We have to create a new tier for Viscera. Legendary cannot hold their weight. They are now 1 away from matching the game 1 kill count for themselves. We just need 2 more to pop above 16.
Yeah. And I remind everybody where this Kaisa came in the drop. This was a very planned drop. They knew that Zan wants Caitlyn, wants Ezreal. They banned the Caitlyn. They leave the Ezreal open because they wanted this Kaisa matchup.
And it looks like Viscera is just reaping the benefits here. That is going to be the paranoia being used as they dive into the mid lane. I didn't even see that. Spins Lamort, says, I'm strong too. Has so much available as Boo is getting shredded. And Sword Blue, yet again, veteran in their own right. Another hook to secure a finish. HDK, Marshall, and Ollie can do nothing here. You are drawn to battle. You are drawn to your death. You are drawn to a game 2 loss as Radar dances around even underneath the tower. Viscera is quite low. No wave to play with, so it will not be game end just yet. But recalls are coming in here. Fanshawe Fuel praying, hoping, wishing for a miracle, but the miracle may not come as Panther joins the rest of the squad. Death timers are not short enough, and it is gonna be this game. True Shot Barrage downtown though is able to land, and maybe the miracle comes in Zan. Zan is 6-6 and 7, and maybe the deaths have been a little bit unwanted, but they are here. Fanshawe Fuel say you might have taken everything, but you will not take that game over screen just yet. Panther last one alive, and they are soon dead as it's an ace in their base. Fanshawe Fuel hang on by the skin of their teeth.
And the rumors of Fanshawe's death were slightly I exaggerated. With your backs up against the wall. The respawn timer is coming in clutch. They're able to find the kills. Baron is on the table with an objective bounty to boot. So if they can get it, that will be a huge gold infusion for this Fanshawe team. But look at the base overall. It is in shambles right now. The Nexus is open. So when Fisher comes back up again, Nexus do respawn in the game. Now, that wasn't going to change this season. But I don't expect Fisher to just sit back and let them respawn. They can just march it right down and look for that 5v5. They are still very, very strong. And Fanshawe, can they do the back-to-back miracle stand?
I mean, I'm not too sure. I don't know if Fisher are going to be sitting at, what, 3 players under 10% HP again inside their own base. So, I mean, that'll be a whole story in its own. But honestly,
that's not a regular team bonding activity they do?
Walking into lava and just burning myself till like I'm gassing. No, that is not what I normally do. That is, if that's your idea of a team bonding activity, I question what team you joined.
Well, I'm just saying, overall, there's a reason why you're not in Fisher College and you're not top 3 right now. In
True. I'm gonna go cry in a corner now. I'll see you guys later. All right, taking a look at how we play this out though. Fisher has spread around the map, and again, against a Baron, it allows a little extra pushing power for Boo, who, again, in this game, has stacked up a majority share of 196 in the CS count, but still very tanky in that aspect. So wave clear is easily evened out by Panther, as they're like, I just want to go ahead, push this wave in and corral with the rest of my team.
Yeah, and for Panther, he's been doing this a lot for the game. That's why his kill participation is a bit lower. He's usually in that side lane with that teleport, just pushing off waves. And unfortunately, as you pointed out, Boo with Baron buff is making it very difficult for the mages right now to push out the waves. I do think it's got to be Viscera with AD to actually consistently pump through the damage, but Viscera's range is so short that he'd rather sit outside and look for picks, and because of that, we might just see the stall off for as long as Baron lasts. Fisher trying for the 3-lane push. Right now they found Boo.
And Boo's gonna get a double knock up here. Can they survive for long enough? Maybe, maybe not, but in comes the Paranoia. Who are they diving? That's gonna be the demonic ascension. But again, no Zanya's here for this Swain, and so you just die where you stand. The commander is down, the waves are pushed. Yet another hook over the wall. Dive it. You know you want. Okay, they aren't gonna dive it. But right now, the damage hasn't done. Fanshawe will lose 2. And now it's yet another push on the top side. Ollie, a simple Icathian Rain brings you down to about 60% HP. It's gonna be a flash. Prediction on the flash instead doesn't land, but it's enough to take this tower. And it's gonna be the slow roll break, as this is a 3-1-1 by Fisher to take the rest of the base.
Finding, not landing on anybody. That's one inhibitor down. Zan has been holding off Panther in the bot lane, but there's not enough bodies to stop the inexorable press of Fisher. The Nexus turrets are back up. Or are they back up? I can't even tell right now. They look like they're standing. Crimson Mort, sniped by Zan.
So here's the deal. You got the snipe, your base is in shambles. I get that. It hurts, it sucks. However, you just took down the enemy jungler who is down for 50 seconds. You could try and go for this Dragon's Soul, which is exactly what they're going to try and do. This Inferno would be able to negate maybe like 2k difference here, but it's going to be difficult as Panther says, hey, I didn't know you had a ward here. I'm so sorry. Let me excuse myself from this equation. They're going to go ahead and back away, but keep in mind there might be a dive buddy in the back line. But Sarah and Radar might be looking to try and get a little bit cheeky with it, but it is Soul. Fanshawe Fuel. They've gotten a second miracle in their pocket. They have gathered 4 dragons. Can they get a third?
Drakes are just so squishy at this point that if Fisher wanted to contest this, they needed to follow them all the way in. Instead, they chose not to, and understandably so. It would have been a 4v5 situation. They don't find anything in the base either. Inhibitors were already down. So for Fanshawe, this is huge. This is breathing room. This is a chance for them to get back in. And we're starting to look at Fisher almost hitting full build. If Fanshawe can just hold on another 10-15 minutes, they might actually start to catch up in terms of item build. A lot of that early lead Fisher has kind of just goes to the wayside, and it comes down to compositions. And we've seen, Orbital, that this Fanshawe composition can do well against Fisher if they can actually get a proper front-to-back 5v5.
Take a breath. Fanshawe Fuel, this may be their last. We see the full fort press coming in here. Topside Radar taking on 2, but that's going to be another full Prey Seeker landing. Tower is going to fall very, very quickly. This is that chance. It actually doesn't fall. I miscounted because I thought the last auto was going to go through, but there is going to be the Paranoia. Up to the top side, it's a 2v2, and honestly, this 2v2 is not one that you wanted. Once again, ATK goes down. Those 2 kills that knocks it further, as you are now 9 deaths in the hole. Boo is going to get chunked out here, but Ollie can do some work. In goes the Demonic Ascension, and to be able to hang on for your life, but the damage has been done. Once again, HDK is gone. Bot side still pressing up Zan furiously, trying to clear as much as possible, but there's the flash belly bump into the hook, and down goes Zan. Ping pong like an alley-oop, and the final shot lands yet again. Panther brings in the double kill. Praisinger from downtown, Fins Lamort running away from Ollie, just baiting that Kindred away. You're gonna recall, but it might be too little too late as the towers have respawned, but how much can be done? Boo goes ahead, snags onto one more. It is going to be the Shred. You try and get a double knockup. Ollie gets hooked yet again. Sword Blue is an absolute ace, but the Lance Restant buys a little bit more time. HTK is alive right now. Now look at Viscera. Look at the Shred. Look at the damage. It's GG. Double the kills. Double the fun. Fisher take it with 2 games.
And Fisher, well, Orbital, they make it look... well,
Fisher destroyed my camera. Fisher destroyed my camera, bro.
Well, yeah, you know what, overall, I don't blame you. That kind of feels like how I feel after watching that game a little bit from the side of Fanshawe. Because for Fisher, they just rolled over. They are so incredibly good. Their mechanics are really, really solid. And yeah, they just played it and leveraged their strengths incredibly well. And for Fanshawe, it feels really bad to watch them lose this in 0-2 fashion. They put up such incredible fights the moment they got out of the lane. Over and over again, we saw that Fanshawe has it in them if they can just get over that early game hump. And I was kind of believing towards the end, you know, that Fanshawe might be able to hold on, that they might be able to clutch out a win because they were defending that base like their lives depended on it and kind of did their playoff lives. Again, they are not out of it mathematically yet, but they are in a very awkward position where their fate is kind of out of their hands. Whereas with this win, Fisher is confirmed for top 4 at this point. They still have another game to play as to whether or not where in the top 3 they will ultimately land. So congrats to Fisher, and for Fanshawe, keep praying, buds.
Yeah, they have to, and honestly, it hurts, especially with HDK getting such a phenomenal lead at the start. This is one of those games that you have to go back and be like, man, that sucks. Like, it's one that you have to really sit there. But honestly, I give them a lot of credit. As you said, they fought in game 2. They fought in game 1 as well. They fought as hard as they could, so I give them a lot of credit. A team that is moving up, still kind of getting the knack for Div 1. I hope to see even more of them, and maybe they do make it in the playoffs as well. Maybe they scrape by the skin of their teeth, and maybe we get to see some of those revenge moments. But at this current moment, we are done here for the night. RMC, it was a blast. I had fun, and Fisher, I'm sure, had a lot of fun as well. Maybe not so much into a little bit of a difficult time of a Scion Q, but big shout out again to Wenzel's Meat Sticks, because we got to give them a shout out, and of course, G Fuel as well. Big shout out to making this broadcast happen. Of course, there's more NECC action in the future just as well. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there'll be more Week 7 action across all the leagues, so make sure to stay tuned for that. We got Rocket League on Thursday. We got R6 tomorrow, and then, of course, Overwatch 2 on Friday, and then maybe you get a little bit of spice on Saturday just as well with a little bit of CLOL action. So please, thank you and so much for watching here tonight. My name is Ordo. With me has been RMC. We had Adam on production and Chippy on the observation. We'll see you all next time.
Hug him up. Hug him up. Other side. Go.
I can't do it.
Help me, Lord. Help me get over this loss.
I can't breathe.
Hey, I can't breathe. I'm so upset. I can't breathe. Stop. You knock on wood so they go to heaven. It's like a lucky. Hey, get the stick. Yeah. Hey, do the meat stick.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, just hold tight for a second. They're moving the casket. Just hold tight.
Yeah, that's no worries. I got it.
Oh, what an awesome day for a pump, dude.
Yeah, I gotta take it easy. Doc says if I exert myself, I will die.
You overexert yourself, you will die.
I'll tell you what. You finish the workout, all these could be yours. That looks good. A little bit of honey ham for the ham. Get after it, and that's your get after it, and that's your treat. Hey, do the exercise, do the work, then you get the reward. That's how this works, man. You gotta give it max effort, maximum effort. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Big hams. Make it work, those hams. Work 'em. Putting in the work. Yeah, baby. Yes. Dude, this is a spicy workout. Gotta make it worth it. building the beef and bringing home the bacon, baby. I'm loving it. Teriyaki is just about within your reach. Come on, get you some. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Maximum effort. Maximum effort. You're there. You're almost there.
That's so worth it.
What do you make of this up here? Just showed up in the yard a couple days ago.
Dog been digging in here?
I don't think so, dude. That goes way down in there. Seriously, did you just lose your meat stick?
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's something in there, dude. Just leave it.
Are you kidding me?
We'll just head to us. Just leave it.
Hell with that.
Ah, yeah, there's something in there. Ah!
Want one?
Thank you.
It's worth it.
Oh, man, this is incredible.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Hey, man, grab me a meat stick. I think I can reach it if I just a little more. Just let me go a little. I can't. Just a little more.